Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ear, Shoulder, Voice. We're glad to have you here. Coming up right now, we've got one of the big things happening, of course, at the end of the year is the holidays. It's a joyous time for a lot of people. People get together, but for some, it's not so much. So we're going to talk about what we do on the holidays, what kind of traditions we carry on, but also what it's like sometimes to carry on traditions without certain people involved, people we've lost, or sometimes we've lost everybody and we spend it alone. How do we get through it? What do we do to make things better? We've covered this a little bit before, but we're going to do a little more because it's always a tough time. And this is the time of year that people really struggle most. There's been some other stuff, of course, happening in the news too. We'll probably talk about some of that briefly, get you in. And anything you feel you want to talk about during the show, you feel free to let us know because we'll engage you live. That's what we're here for right now. But before we start, don't forget we want you to like, share, subscribe, and follow to Ear Shoulder Voice because we're on YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. So hopefully we'll get you on there, get more followers, get more people, and I can fix this screen because I put the wrong one. Look at that. All right, here we go. See, now I messed it up. So we know how the show is going to go. You guys ready to do this?
Ready.
Let's do this.
All right, let's
Much
do
better
it.
than
Love is everywhere. Love is everywhere. Where you go, I'm there. Together, always together. Together, always together.
Sorry, Gabe, much better than what?
I commend you for your intros because there's a lot of words in there, and I would stumble over that I would just trip and trip.
That's okay. Hey, I just ramble. It's what I do. That's why people are always telling me just shut the fuck up. But
It's good though. It's good.
fortunately, I don't hear that as much. So
You
that's
fit
good.
a lot in there in a very small amount of time. If I were to do the intro, I'd be like, "Welcome to Ear Shoulder Voice." We're here. You ready? So
That's it.
I
You're
think
officially going to do the next intro.
I think you get the point across well.
Well, thank you very much for that. Well, glad to have you here. I'm not even going to bother taking you off and bringing you back on because here you are, our first panelist, Gabe. How have you been, Gabe? How was your last couple weeks here? I know we didn't run last week,
Good,
so
good.
glad to have you here.
Very
And
good. Getting ready for the holidays and excited about that. Means more
that's
time
good.
off.
It's good. Some people are really excited for it. I don't get the time off, unfortunately. I got to work Thanksgiving and the day before, the day after, and all that
Yeah,
good stuff. Because, drunk people need a place to go, and I'm there to entertain them,
that's true.
and they need that. All right, let's bring our next panelist. Please welcome back the darling, the wonderful Nikki. How's it
Hi,
going,
Keith.
Nikki?
Good. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm fantastic. Loving the hair.
Thank
Loving the
you.
hair. Every time I see it, it gets better and better. It's so
Thank
fire.
you.
That's awesome. So, how have you been?
Good. Yeah. Good. Getting ready for the holidays. I've been doing much shopping, which, who doesn't love shopping? Too bad it's for food. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Now we don't just have to save up for the holidays. We got to save up to eat nowadays.
Yep.
It gets harder and harder.
That's a
I
whole
think I've
show.
spent about $400 on this Thanksgiving feast for a family of 6. That's insanity for one
That
meal.
for just a standard, yeah, that's definitely insanity. I almost considered this year because so many of these places are offering like dinner for six for like $200,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I'm like, that would just be so much easier. But
Yeah.
then again, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy making,
Same.
you
Yes.
know,
And it doesn't taste the same if it's not made with your love. Like like you got to make it with your love.
you can taste the difference. Trust me.
Yeah.
All right, finally, we're gonna bring our next
Unless
panelist.
I'm cooking it.
Our next
Charcoal.
panelist, we have the King, Bill. How you doing?
I'm getting
Where'd
a
the
rabbit.
glasses go?
Nikki said they were giving her a headache. I think that's what she
No,
said.
I,
So.
I said, are they giving you a headache?
But
But
I'm getting a rabbit.
You
You're getting a
are.
rabbit?
Well, I
Right.
got rid of my black dragon. I got rid of my snake. I got rid of the African toad. And I talked to a young man, the son of a guy that I used to deal with when I bred rabbits. And I sold my 25 and 30-pound rabbits to him. And this boy has rabbits that are actually coming up to the world record type area of 40 pounds.
Wow.
So I'm getting a rabbit after the beginning of the year.
40
Nice.
pounds? My dog
The only
weighs
thing
that much.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to train him to attack. So I'm working on that because I've trained dogs and stuff. So I'm working on the training the rabbit.
So it'd be like the scene out of the Holy Grail.
Yeah, like isn't there a horror movie with like a killer rabbit?
Well, there's
well,
Night of the
Donnie
Lepus.
Darko.
There's Night of the Lepus, but the thing is you have to watch what is it? Watership Down.
Watership
It's a big
Great
thick
movie.
It's a big thick book, but it's a cartoon movie, and it's. I try to explain to some people, when I was in school, you had to watch Animal Farm,
Yeah.
political cartoon. Watership Down is kind of like that, way of against tyranny and stuff like that, and breaking away and everything like that, and it's actually good to watch.
Yeah, it's actually a really good movie. It's really good. It's not a kids show at all.
No,
Or a
I
kids
feel
movie
like
at all.
I
No.
remember like maybe a PG-13 kind of movie where there was a rabbit that like bit people, or I am seeing a bloody mouthed rabbit. That's all I see.
There's probably
Oh.
there is probably a B movie horror rabbit movie out there. I'm sure.
oh yeah, oh I'm sure.
There were children's books back when we were growing up called Banicula
Banicula, that's the one that I was thinking of.
and the Celery Stalks at Midnight.
The
Mhm.
celery stalks at midnight.
Yeah.
And then you
It's
got
really
the
bugging me. Like you guys' pictures are all pretty and crisp and so sparkly, and I look like I'm sitting in a fog machine.
you got to lick your finger and clean your
It's
camera.
the smoke from the joints. It happens.
Dude, I wish. I
There-
haven't even smoked in a minute.
There's
I'm in my
also
son's room. It better not be from
there's
the
also the
joint.
Gromit. There's the Gromit movie with the were rabbit. So
All right,
Mm.
let's bring
Claymation.
on- We're gonna bring it.
And
on
none
our
of
next
these I would have
panelist.
seen. So now I'm even more curious. What was I being shown as a child? Why do I have these visions of bloody ass rabbits?
Wait a minute. That could be why we're all fucked up. Just saying. Here is Teresa. How's it going, Teresa?
Hello.
Hey guys, how's
Yeah,
it
go
going?
away. You were at that game. I don't want to talk to you.
Sorry.
Wow.
I'm
Hey,
kidding. My daughter was
I-
there too.
Cat fight. Hold
I
on,
was
let
at
him
that
go.
game. All right, that's why I just got home. I was at that game. So cut it out.
Well, I don't want to talk to you either then.
What
It
game?
was stressful.
Like-
You want me to
Lions
just take
game.
them off?
Oh,
Like,
I
you want me
think
to
it
just
was
take them
the
off?
Packers game.
No, it was the Bears.
Lion-
I know.
Lions in Chicago.
Lions and the Bears.
So, Teresa,
And
how's
I'm-
it going?
The Bears.
The Bears.
How's it going with you, Teresa?
It's
You look
okay.
tired.
It was a rough week and my allergies have been killing me this weekend, so
Oh.
Well, she was
You didn't even
tailgating
say
like
ta-
a party.
I started
animal.
saying she didn't say tailgating. So yeah.
Right. She was. She's being secretive.
Oh yeah, she was. I know. She's a party
Yeah.
girl.
I saw the
No.
pictures of you and your husband.
what you didn't see because I didn't post the video is he got to kick a field goal.
Really? Aw.
For like money?
What?
Or just kick one?
He didn't make it. It was pretty close though. They have the kids where they can run a touchdown at the end, and then on the other end they had people that could go down and like attempt a field goal
Very nice.
off the I think it was like the 30-yard line.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty
that was cool.
So, some things have been happening. Of course, we need a moment of silence because Bobby died. Does anybody
Who?
know who Bobby is? The world's oldest dog officially died
Aw.
at 31 years
Yeah.
old.
Wow. So that's like
No.
what, 127?
217.
Wow, what
Oh, I
breed?
was way off. Oh, my math. I transposed the numbers.
That happens. That happens. It was over in
Um,
Portugal.
Actually, if he's 31 years old, it's 277.
No.
No.
What is 3 times 7, Bill?
31 times
7.
31 times 7.
times 3 is 21. 217 is 217.
Right. Okay, but what I'm going to tell you is after a dog hits 19 years old,
Oh, God.
We're
it
not
goes up.
using Bill
It's
logic,
not,
okay?
It's not
Bill, you were
7 years,
wrong,
it's
admit
10
it.
years.
Oh,
I am not
God.
wrong. When
I want to remind
after a
everybody
dog,
that this is not the math show. This is Air Shoulder Voice.
this
Right.
is,
I did
well,
not
this,
sign up for
this
math.
is the animal show because this is so after a dog hits 10 years old, if they keep living, every year is 10 years.
I'm
Just
going to
saying.
have to look this up.
Don't. You're going to waste your time. And then Bill's going to come up with a different excuse, put you down a new rabbit hole.
I'm
was
right.
right.
And don't talk about the rabbit yet until I get it.
Are you just creating a museum of weird and interesting pets?
Are you mutating these animals and then shipping
Okay.
them off to China?
So a long time ago, I used to raise Flemish giants. Okay. So most of the around
You
here in
broke up.
Michigan,
Did you say
Yeah.
flesh giants?
Flesh giants.
Flemish giants are the biggest rabbits. So usually they average
Flemish
about 20
giant?
to 25 pounds. My rabbits were 25 to 30 pounds. And it's because I took the biggest males all the time and bred them with the biggest females and
That's a
stuff
lot
like
of
that, which is what
food.
you're supposed to do. You get bigger. The lady over in England, I think her rabbit, the world record, something like 45 pounds and 4.5 feet long.
Wow.
But my buddy Gabe, who he's passed away now, his son has taken over, and Gabe took a lot of my rabbits to his rabbitry, which is in a city we won't say because it's illegal, and it's not far from where I'm at. But his son is doing the same thing, and he's got larger rabbits now. So I just told him, I said, well, whenever I talked to him the other day, he contacted me, and he goes, my dad owed you so much money, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'm not worried about it. And he goes, I want to give you a rabbit. I said, well, I want 4. And then he said, nope. He goes, I'll give you a rabbit. So that's
How long does it take to grow a 40-pound rabbit? raise
so
one.
Flemish giants, what they use Flemish giants for is the fact that at 6 weeks old, they're big enough to break their necks and fry them. That's what
Okay,
their
so-
meat rabbits. They're the biggest meat rabbits.
So,
That was one
How
of the
long
things
did
that
it take to grow to be 40 pounds? How long would
So-
that take them?
about 1 year.
Oh, so
They can get fat.
See, rabbits can
Thanksgiving
breed
would
at
be
3
right.
months without a problem, especially the big breeds. The smaller breeds can breed when they're 2 months old, or some of them can breed when they're a month old.
yeah, don't
So it's
rabbits
weird,
have
but-
babies like every 4 weeks or something?
Rabbits gestation period is 30 days.
Oh, God.
And the thing is, if you separate the female from the babies after they're weaned, you can breed her right back.
That's
Wow.
rough. It's ruthless.
So,
Well, like I said, that has to do with the food thing and everything like that over the world and stuff. So, but
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah, because
Go
rabbits.
ahead, Keith.
no, you're fine. You're fine. So we did miss our. We were going to do a political election show, and we were going to talk about some things on there. We didn't get to do that show necessarily because with everything surrounding the election, first I didn't want to do it before that election took place, and haven't. And actually, it turned out in a lot of different ways than people planned or thought it would, because abortion was a huge thing on there, and a lot of people, a lot of voters, apparently, regardless of anybody's belief on this panel or anything, they chose, pro-choice. That seemed to be a big, overwhelming issue. But there's something I do want to discuss as far as what's been in the news when it comes to elections, a little bit of politics here, just get your idea there. I want you to, when you answer this question, I want you to forget that we're talking as best you can about Donald Trump in this, okay? And this is my hypothetical question.
You just put his name in our head. So go ahead.
Right.
I know. Well, I'm going to, because I'm going to actually, the situation I'm going to talk about refers to him, but the question I have, I want you to try to think of somebody else in the situation. They've been trying to get him off the ballot. Some states have said, okay. Colorado just said no, he remains on the ballot. Any other president in history, not Biden, not Trump, but say if you went back to anybody, if Reagan did this, if they were part of that, is being the words used, because we all admit that he's used words he shouldn't. Is that enough to say somebody with the reaction they have shouldn't be president anymore or be allowed to run again? Is that enough? Because I'm kind of torn on it. Now you got to try to remember this isn't Trump, because Trump talks out of his ass. But if
Yeah.
it had been anybody else,
I still am going to say no, because we have had presidents who have done, some questionable things. What about Nixon and Watergate? Even though, okay, so that's a bad example. So
well, yeah,
never
he
mind that
resigned.
example.
He's not running again. Okay, that's the point.
That's a bad example. Either way, I don't think that. I think that if it was anybody else, they would continue running. That's just my
They
opinion.
would, but the question is, should they be allowed to be removed from the ballot? I'm questioning it.
Thanks for saying that,
The
'cause I forgot
reason,
the question.
if somebody has that kind of rhetoric and does that, and they are associated so closely and currently on trial for whether you agree with it or not, but for inciting the insurrection, etc., promoting it or anything like that, should they be allowed? And you said so many presidents have done questionable things, and you're right. Should they be allowed as well? That's why I said try to steer your way from
I
away a little
mean,
bit from the current situation. Is that the state's right to step in and say we don't want him, or should the people decide? And that's where I'm
Well,
torn with it.
the people should, but I mean,
yeah,
how are they going to go about it? The thing is you elect somebody. Every politician lies. I mean, it's been known
Right.
throughout the world forever and a day. I can't say it in his voice, but I never had sexual relations with that woman. Holy shit,
yeah,
that was the worst thing in the world. You know, and then she comes out and says, "Yeah, I was spitting my shit out of his dick and onto the ground all the damn time."
And the dress.
But and the
well,
dress. Oh yeah, I forgot about the dress. And but the thing is uh, my thing was always this. All right, and he never became president, but Ross Perot was the same type of person as Donald Trump. He had more money than what he knew to do with, and you should never have anyone with that kind of megalomania going on in their mind to be the guy that's running this country.
I mean, I agree with that. I do think there's something. I thought that about Ross Perot as well. I did. I don't. I even though it happens all the time, I don't think you should buy your way into politics. And it does happen all the time. People with money do it.
well, I mean,
But it
technically,
usually
every
happens on the
candidate buys
lower
their way in
situations.
because they have to raise X amount of dollars to be able to be a candidate, right?
Well, they
So,
do, but the thing
But
is
they're
when you're
supposed to
buying
raise
votes,
that through campaigning.
yeah,
I'm
what is
talking
and
about buying your way in. If you
okay, but
can't,
what's the
you make
difference
money.
between buying your way? Bill like reference like buying votes. I don't know that I've ever heard of anybody buying votes, but I have heard of vote harvesting, and that's a
well,
real
you
thing.
have
An
you have
election
lobbyists.
got
Oh, I'm
kiboshed
sorry.
in a whole nother state just recently because of ballot
That's what I
harvesting.
mean. It's existed for a very long time.
Yeah,
But the power to, when you're talking about the difference in campaign raising funds, the whole point of a campaign is that people support your ideas and will give you money to spend on your election versus having the money already and buying your votes by lobbying and other means.
I don't
Okay.
think that they're. Yeah, but are you saying that you think that Donald Trump bought votes because technically he can't invest his own money
Uh,
into the.
You can,
Okay.
Well,
and this is again. I'm not trying to get to him particularly because Ross Perot is a good example of somebody in that situation too, and other people. It's not a particular person, but yes, you can. You can't invest your own money into the campaign. That is the
Right.
campaign finance laws.
Right.
However, you can invest into other companies that agree with an agenda
True.
to
Yeah.
promote and push your campaign as
Yeah.
well.
that's what I was
True.
going to
And
say.
that's the
So
And I
process
see
of
both sides
lobbying.
do that.
right, but
Yeah, no, this
lobbyists
isn't one side.
buy the candidates' votes
Oh,
by
100%.
donating money
All right,
to their
I'm gonna.
campaign.
Yes,
And then
exactly.
the campaigners take that money and put it into a situation or push for a situation that the lobbyists want, and then they're buying all the votes that the lobbyists just gave them money for. That's still buying votes.
All right.
Yes.
Teresa,
No.
Gabe, I want to hear your input on this as well. I'm going to actually mute myself for a minute. I've got a work call to take. So go ahead. Just give your opinion real quick. We'll be back and get to our main topic.
You can go ahead, Teresa.
I don't.
Nothing.
No.
Okay.
You don't have an
Mm-mm.
opinion.
So there's a couple odd things, right? So the presidency is the only position that relies on the fact that if you are a convicted felon, you can't run. If you're a senator, like for instance, that guy that dressed up as the Viking
Mm-hmm.
and got arrested in the January 6th insurrection. So he was arrested. He was convicted. He got out. Now he is trying to possibly run for Senate. He is not allowed to vote, but he is allowed to run for Senate.
Really?
Yes, because that's the law. As far as manipulation and things like that, I think gerrymandering is far more intrusive, and that's why you have all these battles. Because you don't even have to worry about lobbying. All you need to do, because the entire voting, the election system is based on a collection of points, and all of those will be sort of divvied out by population and things like that. So, you'll have different cities. We've had these battles in Michigan, and you have a lot in the South and things like that, where you have a larger population, say like Detroit or something like that, but they get a lesser share or less of a vote, even though they have more of a population. So the mapping when it comes to gerrymandering is a bigger problem, and I think when it comes to lobbyists and things like that, you can put all of the money that you want to, but it really all comes down to the rules of the actual election, and you can have a million advertisements and things like that. But there are so many candidacies that were ruined just by simple viral things. Look at what was Bush's vice president when the spelling error.
Oh, um, oh,
Remember?
oh gosh, what was his name?
Wasn't it Jimmy Fallon?
No. What?
But
Oh.
anyway, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I'm sure somebody
Gore? Was it?
knows. No. But
All right.
that's all it takes is one slip step.
I agree.
You're right.
I agree with what you say there. I want to get onto this because I've got to take this. Unfortunately, I don't want to leave you guys hanging so badly. But today's topic, of course, is loan for the holidays. So why don't we go on? Talk what you got planned and what has changed. Like, I'm curious, what has changed with your holidays recently? And whoever wants to start, feel free.
Teresa,
What?
we haven't heard from you yet. Come on.
I am going to my daughter's house for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think I'm gonna help her cook, I believe.
Hi, Drina.
Hi, Drina. Yeah, and then I'm gonna come home and hide in my house for the rest of the afternoon, and hopefully watch movies with my husband or something lame and boring like that.
Sounds like
I
a
love
plan.
it. Sounds
Charlie
fun.
Brown Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Snoopy fights for the lawn
It's
chair.
horrible. It's
It's the
horrible.
It's the greatest thing in the world.
All
We're
of them.
We're
I-
actually doing a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving feast at the centers where I work for our
Aw.
kids. So,
Aw,
but
I
we're
love
doing graham crackers instead of toast because I didn't think little kids would want the toast. But I've got jelly beans, pretzels, popcorn, and graham crackers.
Aw, I
Okay,
love
so
it.
just so you know, I've got a dog, all right, that we can bring there, and the dog will fight with a lawn chair there for the kids to see. So it'd be like real life stuff. Just saying.
Okay.
All right. Keep that in mind.
Right.
All right. What about you, Nick? You're the king.
What has changed? I think the people sitting around the table has surely changed.
Mhm.
Some have passed, some, I'm no longer around, like, ex in-laws or what have you, exes. Even some of my kids who will be doing their own thing this year won't be around my table. But yeah, I think that's what's changed around these parts.
Yeah.
Plus, staying home. It used to be like when I was growing up, I feel like we went to 50 different places. Like I remember eating McDonald's like on Christmas Eve because we were so busy, like going places. Now I don't want to go nowhere. That's probably
Yeah,
why.
I think that's why people throw parties so that they don't have to leave the house. People
Yes,
can
I
just
think
come
so.
to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I
What
could
about you,
cook, that
Gabe?
would be my
What's
plan.
changed for you?
So for us, it's going to be shared. We're going to be doing 2 dinners.
Oh,
So, just so we can sort of visit both families, with that type of stuff, sometimes your plan is to switch every other year. Some holidays you want to do kind of the same day, or like for Christmas, we'll do one side of the family on Christmas Eve versus Christmas and things like that. So it's always a moving plan,
yeah. Yeah.
but it's good. because we can get everybody. We can get to see everybody for the holidays, and
Yeah.
that's the
That's
important
what's
thing.
important. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
That's the important thing. What
But
about
as
you,
far as my
Bill?
family,
Oh,
oh sorry,
no,
but yeah, as
no,
far as
go.
my family, I have a very small family, so for like
Are you going like
Thanksgiving.
10 deep, Gabe, or are you smaller than that?
No, I've always joked that my entire, when I was getting married, that my entire family can fit in one pew at the church.
Oh God. So that's what, like 10
It's a,
people or so?
yeah, it's very very small family, but we're very close.
That's
Um,
good.
yeah, I've as far as with my daughter and stuff like that, it's a very good knit group for helping my daughter as far as like her
Yeah.
mother and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's brought us all closer, and we do the things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. How about you, Bill?
Yeah. What about you, sir?
Well, last 7 years, I spend Thanksgiving with my friends' dogs. They have places to go, and I don't go anywhere. I'm not big on Thanksgiving or anything like that, so never have been.
You don't like to
And
eat?
well, oh no, I love to eat, but since my mom's passed,
Yeah.
um, I haven't done anything. And even before that, when my dad passed, which was 25 years ago, um, it was different.
Yeah.
My mom always had her, her daughter over, and her son was there when he wasn't in prison and shit. But I mean, I was always there for my mom. But after my mom passed, I was like, my friends always invited me over. Hey, come on over. Don't want you to be alone, stuff like that. And I said, no. I said I got plans. And Kathy would, she went to her mom's house or her relative's house and stuff like that. And can you come stay with the dogs? I said, oh hell yeah. I honestly, I mean, I'm a decent person. Don't get me wrong. I'm better with animals than I am with people. So
That's all right.
because a dog can turn and bite me, and I'll say stop that. Someone looks at me stupid, and I'm going to sock him in the teeth. So. And,
Has led to some awkward Christmas or Thanksgiving interactions, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right.
well, the only real, actually, I'm going to say just the only real bad one I had was this. I had a roommate, and this is back when I was like, gosh, before you guys were ever born. And I think I was 25, and Junior and I were living together and shit because him and his brother got in a fight or whatever, and we were living in Madison Heights, and I got a really good sized house with a double car garage and for very inexpensive rent. And I just did the work on it inside a little bit, the plumbing and stuff like that. And he said, hey, can I have the family over Thanksgiving? Of course, you're invited. I said, sure, no problem. So, of course, the Thanksgiving football game's on. You couldn't get anywhere unless you walked in front of the TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in front of the TV, and Junior's brother yelled at me, and I looked at him and I said, this is my house, asshole, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked into the kitchen, and he followed me to the kitchen and said, what did you say? And I turned around and punched him in the fucking teeth. And he hit the ground. He goes, what the hell are you doing? And I said, you don't tell me what to do in my house. So, but that was the only bad time
Well, that's good.
that I'm going to talk about on here that didn't involve the police. So,
Well, that's good. Let's keep it that way. And lighter. So speaking of Thanksgiving, and speaking of the food, so the question that I have for everybody is: are you tired of it, or do you still love it? And what particular thing are you really excited for?
I
when
bought Buddy's
it comes
Pizza
to-
frozen for Thanksgiving.
Oh, yum.
Mm.
Love
Buddy's Pizza comes at the stores now. It still costs you $15, but you get a Buddy's Pizza. You take it, you thaw it out for a little bit, and you cook it in the oven. And I actually take mine and put it in my pan and put extra cheddar cheese around the crust, and it comes out great.
Yummy.
So not the traditional sense.
No, but I used to
But-
feed that to my black dragon, so
Oh, there you go.
Well, buddies, if you're eating pizza, is the pizza to eat.
There you
Uh,
go. Brought to
I
you by buddies.
do what?
I
Buddies
said
is
brought to you by
gross.
Brought to
buddies.
you by buddies. We're sponsored,
Hey,
not
buddies.
sponsored by. I am absolutely Call me
Round table of
crazy.
the loners. Love this already. How you doing, Ghost Loop? That's exactly what we are, and we're proud
that
of
like
it.
a spoofer. What is that?
Huh?
Is
No,
that like
it's no. This is not a.
it's like
It's
a real
round
person?
table of the loners. Our theme is Lone for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love the
oh.
stream already. So yeah, that's somebody actually watching. That's not one of the. That's not spam. Anyway, Ghost Floof. God, that's I can't say that. Ghost Floof. Glad to have you here.
I am looking forward. See, I love Thanksgiving. I know some people who are like, turkey, take it, leave it, whatever. The only dish I am not a fan of, green bean casserole.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I just
knew you were gonna
can't.
say
The
that.
texture, the whole
Never.
premise. I just
It's
no.
the greatest country dish in the country down south.
No.
Never
No,
had it.
I-
Never will.
I beg to differ. I make some country green beans with some pan fried bacon bits and some onions and mix it all together with some garlic. And
Mhm.
that
Okay, let
will
me put it this way.
be
It's the most
Casserole.
popular country dish down south.
I don't understand why.
I don't.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, the big question is you're making turkey, right?
Of course.
Do you make homemade cranberry sauce or you buy it in
I'm
the damn
assuming-
can and slice it up?
I make homemade cranberry
Homemade's
sauce.
the best.
Yeah.
I missed the conversation because I was on the phone with work. But I'm assuming Bill said something related to this. Says hello, LLO would have also punched that guy. Good job, King. Yeah. I don't know what, but I know if somebody's talking about punching some guy, it had to be Bill.
Yeah.
I walked in front of the TV, Keith, during a football game. And my roommate, Junior, his brother came and approached me whenever I walked into the kitchen. Because I told him, shut up, this is my house. And he approached me in the kitchen and I punched him in the teeth. So
I mean, that sounds totally reasonable for me. I mean, it
Logical.
does. I'm surprised that nobody ever punched my grandmother during Thanksgiving because I love my grandmother.
Who's
but
who's going out? Who's going out on the town to punch grandmas?
have you met some grandmas out there?
Next thing
You just try and put football on the TV during Thanksgiving.
So
my grandma freaked
one-
out
My
every
grandma.
time.
my
Wanting to
dad's
punch a
mom was that
grandma
grandma.
is very different than actually punching your grandma.
Yeah, but see, to
Actually,
me, it's grandma. To them, it's mom. So they'll punch her.
Sure.
All right.
Sometimes you just got to go into the other room.
Just walk away.
But in fairness,
Walk
our
away.
grandma, you would
Or-
fear.
or you leave grandma alone until Christmas time and then she gets ran over by a reindeer. So
I remember grandma.
yeah. miss her.
Secondarily, who
It's
makes
really
their
hard,
stuffing homemade and who uses stovetop?
Stovetop is good. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I do. I'll
Sinners.
take it either way.
Yeah.
Take it
it's-
either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
As long as
You
there's
know what
not
the
a ton of
problem
like
is?
celery in it, I'm all good.
Yeah, you add that stuff to stovetop. Just don't add it.
At its taste.
Ghost Floof says reindeer being a fancy term for indoor lawnmower. 100%. 100% on that.
Oh, talking about grandma getting run over by the lawnmower for the reindeer.
Yeah, no lawnmower now. We're changing it
Ooh, was
officially
like
to indoor
way
lawnmower.
over my head for about a solid
That's
45
because you're
seconds.
stoned all the time.
That would be a substantially different song if it was sung.
yes, it would.
I can
Grandma
see
got run over
I'm-
by a
I'm
lawnmower.
gonna keep
Yeah,
us
that's
on,
Weird
on
Al
path.
territory.
This year, I am attempting to make a homemade sweet potato pie. Homemade crust, homemade filling from hand peeled sweet potatoes. I've never done it. It
Nice.
may not work. It may
It might
taste like
not.
crap.
I'll just buy the pie. I loved making the pies, but it's too much fucking work on top of that dinner.
Well,
I
I
mean,
bought
I-
most of all my desserts. This is the one dessert I am actually baking.
the only one I try to do is a cheesecake, and I've not been able to do that yet. And that's the only thing I would like to bake homemade because I can't find good cheesecake.
Oh, cheesecake?
Yeah,
Cheesecake can be challenging, but it's not that bad. I just go
I
with the
can do
no
good
bake.
cheesecake, but I cannot do mom's cheesecake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I can't duplicate that. So
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, we're obviously talking about that. Is this Thanksgiving going to be like different for anybody out there? Is there something that's changed drastically for anybody?
I mean,
That's
the change has happened over years. It's like just like the progress of life. I was actually just reflecting about this earlier, how crazy it is to me that like I have all these siblings. I'm one of 6. And how we all grew up in the same household, and holidays were like, like we were playing Barbies like we were playing nonstop, and it was just like all fun and laughing and giggling. And now I don't like talk to them once a week, if not once a month. Some of them, it's just kind of sad, really.
so yeah. Well,
So that's
that
changed
gets
drastically.
that is, and that's one of the things that people deal with. Sometimes it's just growing apart. Sometimes just they're not around. You lose so much. Drina, Ghost Floof. I mean, anything about the holidays you like or that has changed, please let us know on there. Teresa, you seem to be shaking your head when I said that too. What are your thoughts? What has changed?
Well, the one like kind of a big change for us this year is that we're having dinner at my daughter's house. And my mom is like the insistent on having it at her house, and we're all like, just no, we're not doing that.
You
So
got to pass that torch at some point. But wait a
Mhm.
minute. So what I'm understanding is you got fucking skipped.
yes, and that's fine.
Like,
It's
you
fine.
don't want to do that?
I have done it a couple of times. I did like a Friendsgiving a couple years ago. I don't care.
Yeah.
If I'm with my kids, it doesn't matter where we are. I don't really.
Less work for you.
Yeah, I
know,
mean,
show
I'll
up
go
and
and help her, and I'll play with the grandkids, and I'll do all that stuff. But it doesn't matter to me. I don't care if the people come here or if I go. I just have to be with my kids. That's it.
Same.
I understand that. I mean, it's good to have the family, and that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be passing the torch on from generation to generation, and eventually grandma brings over her pies, and mom cooks the meal, and the kids have fun, and it just shifts upwards each time. You know,
So
I
you think
started-
that has something to do with, like, how many family members or how many brothers and sisters do you have, versus how many brothers and sisters did your parents have, and did they have a tighter relationship? So, I'm sorry.
No, I was agreeing with you. Go ahead.
So the question is, they sort of start the tradition, for instance, my mother and my aunts and uncles and stuff like that, they were very good at sort of all getting together and stuff like that. But when it comes down to me and my brother, we see each other plenty, but we also don't probably communicate as much. I don't know if it's just because we're two brothers versus brothers and sisters. Like, is there more obligation, you think, when it comes to brothers and sisters versus brothers and brothers? So you have a lot of sort of things that could break up that constant,
Tradition.
Yeah.
tradition, and you got to keep it up
I want to.
Yeah.
year after year.
I want to get to Ghost Floof. Your name is hard to say, but I'm gonna get
Ghost
to his
Floof.
comment in just a moment.
It's easy.
In
Ghost
just a
floof.
moment. Shut up, Gabe. Show off. Unique New
Read-
York.
Reading is fundamental.
I think responding to you, I think a lot of it has to do as well as passing on. And people don't have the same family values. There is something to the way you're brought up.
Yeah.
To want to, but I'm noticing more and more people like to get away from their family. I think that's almost becoming a trend, and it's a sad trend because, which I'm going to get to his comment in a moment, when you lose them, it changes everything, and you really wish you'd have done it differently. And I think sometimes it hits harder for siblings. If you have many siblings, usually you only have one or two that wants to do a holiday meal. Most of them are like, I don't want to be part of this. I just want to go somewhere and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It gets
Or
really
mine
hard.
would want to like do it on a different day. Let's do it a different day. Not,
Yeah.
And
Yeah, or
I'm
they
one
wanna
for
choose
once
it.
the moment is lost, it's lost.
It
It's
is.
gone. It's out
And
the window.
what Ghost Floof says, I don't know why that's so hard to say. He says it's going to be his first Christmas without my mother, and I'm going to totally relate to that one. a bit too, and he's also from Africa. Well, glad to have you on the show. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You've been a widower for almost 10 years, and the loneliness slowly crippling one's heart each year no longer affects me. And this is really where our topic comes into play. We start out lighthearted, and we'll usually try to get into the topic more and talk about these because it's really hard to deal with the loss of people to where you end up being alone. And my question for you, Ghost Floof, while we address this, is do you have anybody around at this point, or is it becoming just you? So, who has definitely dealt with the family members gone most recently, or not even recently, but just the world has changed because of it
Mm,
for
I
them?
mean, yeah, you, Teresa.
yeah, for
I know
sure.
Teresa, and I know I have,
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
um,
have.
and I
I
know
know I
Will
have.
has. So, are any of you have any of you, because of the loss of the people, really ended up being left alone for the holiday?
No, luckily for me, no.
Gabe,
But I do see my husband. His
I
mom
have
is gone. His dad is gone. He does have his sister, but their relationship is non-existent at the best. And his brother is gone. So there's nobody. And I
yeah.
can't imagine, like, that probably feels very, very lonely, even though he has us. But when you don't have your own people who you
because you've
grew
lost
up
your
with,
childhood when you weren't around.
right,
All those people that were there at that time, the
right,
holidays will never mean the same thing.
exactly,
They will mean something new, probably, and something beautiful with your new family and something to remember and cherish. But they'll never mean the same thing as when you were growing up with them.
right.
And this is where I have so many memories with Teresa and stuff, too.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
we had some great holidays. Gabe, go ahead. I had asked you first. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I used to have a much bigger Thanksgiving dinner when it came to that. But some of it sort of changed due to just people moving out of state.
Yeah,
And, there was a situation where, um, a lot of people sort of followed, my uncle followed my cousin out of state. And so it's more a matter of distance, I think, at this point, which I think happens, but it's a shame because I really did enjoy those times, with my cousins and stuff like that. All of my greatest memories were sort of going over my uncle and aunt's house. And, all the boys would go downstairs and there was a lot of musical equipment down there and we'd just have sing alongs and things like that. So we'd enjoy Thanksgiving dinner and then just do sing alongs. And it was
This
just a
requires alcohol.
blast. Yeah. It was so much fun. And I do dearly miss it for sure.
It is. It's going to get deeper as we go down this panel, just so you know.
Yeah.
Teresa,
Yeah.
so what about you? Has it ever forced you into being alone for the holidays? And I kind of know the answer.
Yeah, I well, when my grandmother passed, on my mom's side, my whole family kind of like separated. And there's you always have to choose a side.
yeah,
I mean, not everybody feels that way, but my mom is definitely a side chooser. So,
Yes. And
mine
um,
too.
so I honestly, after my divorce, I spent several Christmas days alone.
Mm.
Christmas and holidays. I know that Ghost Floof doesn't do Thanksgiving, obviously, if he's in Africa. But he does Christmas, and this is basically the general holidays. And he says his relationships with siblings is similar to your husband, Nikki. He sees his brother once a year. I see nieces once every 4 years if I'm lucky.
Hmm.
And I'm going to get, when we get to Bill, we're going to definitely touch more on that. And I'm going to definitely be touching more on that as well. Your family, a lot of it, Teresa, because we're still talking to you. And I know they've moved away. And that half of your family, obviously, side choosing.
Yeah, none of my siblings were close.
Yeah, and I know your dad and stepmom have,
Yeah.
They live far away. Does that have that impact? Especially, what is the comparison of not having them there, knowing they're still around, or do you fear sometimes more because they're not around and can't make it? Because I know that your dad has a hard time getting out for the holidays anymore, traveling.
Yeah.
So how do you think that really affects you, and how do you deal with that? Do you still get to talk to him? Or?
Yeah, we definitely talk. Traveling back and forth has been obviously over the last few years, like you said, limited. So yeah, I don't get to see them as often as I would like to because the distance. But yeah, I don't know. I probably, to be honest, compartmentalize that a lot. When I think about it, and it's really hard to think about.
Well, I don't
but
want to put you in that dark of a path or anything, so I understand.
No, I'm
that.
good. I'm
If
good.
you don't want to, because I know how hard it can be in losing it. I'm going to move on now. Are you ready, Bill?
I'm always ready, Keith.
You liar. All right. So talk to me. I'm not even going to give you a question. Talk to me.
Well, you got to figure, I grew up in my life and stuff like that, and as an adult, my my sister and my brother lived with my mom and did nothing for her and sucked the life out of her as far as money and place to live and stuff like that. My other sister moved away, and only an hour and a half away, and after she moved, over 18 years, she came and saw my mom 4 times. So with me, with everything that happened, and then my brother passed, and then my mom passed, and my brother passed away, my mom passed away a month and a half later because she just gave up because she lost her baby. He was my little brother, youngest in the family. I didn't care about anything too much anymore. It had already kind of went downhill after my dad died and stuff, but we still tried to get people together. My mom even invited people over that were friends of friends and stuff like that. But after my mom passed, and everyone got a drink right now, because I'm going to say it. After my mom passed, I said this earlier, I spend my time with my little gay friend Kathy's dogs. So that's why I'm saying, Keith, get your bottle ready. But
Why? What's that got to do with drinking? I'm confused.
well,
It's
Keith
a
always
holdover
drinks
from
when
2
I say,
seasons ago.
yeah. But the thing is like Kathy's mother, Kathy and her mother own Dairy Mat at 15 in Woodward. All right, ice cream shop's closed right now, but it'll be open this summer. That's a good plug.
That's all
But
right.
Carol, like Carol, before she even knew me, she invited me to her house, and I just told her, I said, my mom just passed. I said, this is not for me. And I got to where Thanksgiving, like I said, Kathy goes to her parents' house or goes to her significant other's house or whatever, and they do stuff. And I go over there and spend time with the dogs. And to me, that's good because I get along better with animals than I do people most of the damn time. I don't know why. People are just fucking assholes. They
They're
don't like
better,
me.
yeah.
So, but it is what it is. And part of it is what I dealt with previous years with my family. Unfortunately, I mean, when I was young, we went down south. My dad had 9 brothers and sisters. 8 brothers and sisters, 9 half brothers and sisters, 10 step brothers and sisters. And on Thanksgiving, you spent time with your immediate family. And that following Sunday, you all gathered at my grandmother's house. And I got 450, 500 people there going, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. I don't know that one. Well, that's your cousin. That's your cousin. All my uncles. That's your cousin. That's your cousin. You say hello and, stuff like that. And gathering with people that, that you get to learn that they're relatives and stuff like that. And even just new people that aren't was always great when I was young. And I developed the attitude over time dealing with my own family, unfortunately, and what they were doing to my mom and losing my mom. And I got to where, Thanksgiving, not a big thing. I even am kind of like that on Christmas, but I have friends that don't let me get away with that on Christmas. So
Look at that. You need people
That's
like
good.
that. That's the thing. You need people
and
like that.
I'd like to mention that there's someone on this panel who does what they do every Thanksgiving to invite people who are going to be alone over to his house to eat and stuff. But this year he's
Hold on,
inviting them to
Nikki's trying
some
to
big
figure out
soiree,
direction.
and even going to be in Frankenmuth maybe if they got the
Not
time.
me.
So I don't know what person this is. I don't remember, but I'm just saying. And I have to say, and the thing is I would like to think that I would be that good of a person, but I'm not. But that person that does this is a very good person.
Sounds like it. Nikki, can you point him out?
No.
It's pretty obvious.
That was
Here
the
it is,
best
here it
part. Of
Okay,
that.
quick.
That was really
The
sweet, Bill.
secrecy.
But
The
the best
secrecy.
part, I don't know if
I
you
know.
were watching
The
Nikki when
secrecy.
you were talking, because Nikki's like,
No.
she's like, it's not
But the
working.
thing
It's not
was-
going.
The thing is Gabe just narked me out. You know,
This
he was
guy.
like, because I was talking about myself. I'm sorry, but yeah, you know.
You already said you're not that kind of person. You can't get away with it now. Yes, that's
I
true.
can.
do
I lie
try-
it later, so.
I do try to put together a loner Thanksgiving every year. That's something I have always worked at. And that was something that my mom did teach me. I mean, we had a lot of family things growing up. We did, but my mom was never shy. If you had nowhere to go, you were there. If, sometimes if we didn't have any family and our family did drift apart, a lot of our family drifted apart, a lot of those meals went away. And it didn't matter. If you had nowhere to go, she included you. And I've always tried to keep that alive. And I don't feel as though I do. I'm trying to keep that tradition alive, but it's not the same. And I think being in those shoes, you see it differently. Like, I saw her as being an amazing person for doing it. I don't see myself that way.
And she probably
But-
didn't see herself either.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a different feeling.
But what you're doing is a good thing. My only thing is I think you ought to have it at Tony's.
No.
Yes, because the thing is,
I don't want a pound of bacon.
I'll drive to Tony. Yes, you do. I'll drive to Tony's.
Yes, you
I'll
do.
drive to Tony's, and then you can show everyone my picture on the wall up there for eating 2 of the big breakfasts right in a row,
Why
and
do
then
you
the
really
waitress
So-
is
They're
paid
open
for it.
on Thanksgiving? Do
So,
you think
so
Tony's
Ghost
are-
Floof knows. Just so Ghost Floof knows, Tony's is a place here in the U.S. We're fat in the U.S. We don't eat well at all, ever. And so we can go to restaurants where they put a pound of bacon on a BLT.
The
and serve it to
platter's
you,
this
and we
big.
think it's
Holy
great.
shit!
The bread is huge. Everything.
Everything
It's a-
My husband got a
It's a-
country
As
fried
it should
steak.
be.
It was like this. It was as big as my head. I swear.
Now
to
that
you.
I would eat because I love country fried
Bread.
steak.
Yes.
Their breakfast
Should
platter
be
is
always
4
huge.
1/4 pounds. 4 1/4 pounds. Sausage, bacon, ham, hash browns, pancakes, eggs. I mean, everything you want.
Oh,
No
Why is
wonder our
obesity
country's
a
like that.
problem
So-
in America? I wonder.
So, so talking about someone in this panel, a man
Don't make
who-
me point
who
again.
does this. Now you want him to rent out a venue.
He is. Wait,
and
no.
pay-
He's already trying to. The guy or the woman or the person is already trying to rent out Frankenmuth. So
Frankenmuth.
all of it, all
The
of
city.
Frankenmuth?
Fuck it, I'll just take the whole damn city.
it was
Yeah.
Frankenmuth, and then somewhere in Fraser, I think it
Okay.
was
Vintage
in
House?
Fraser too. The
Vintage
Divine
House.
whatever. So yeah, Vintage House. Yes,
Okay, yes, Vintage House in Fraser. Okay.
because I always call it Divine House for some reason. So
We talked about the pound of bacon at Tony's, and Ghostlu says I may have seen the recent so-called pepperoni pizzas.
Oh, so-called pepperoni pizzas. What
So-
does that mean?
Well, it goes on, no dough, just 5 pounds of pepperoni.
Wow.
Ew.
Okay.
Oh my god.
They
I
have
got
the,
so-
it's called pizza.
so yeah, they have
That's
the.
just called pepperoni.
There's a lot of places now that are pizzerias, and they're serving the no crust pizza, which they give it to you in a pan,
in a bowl.
and it's the sauce, the cheese, and a ton of
It
pepperoni.
is
I
so good.
love it.
Yes.
You know what?
Give us
Everybody
the
acts like it's a
cream.
new trend. Marco's Pizza has been doing that for years.
Yes,
It
they
is.
have, and that's what I was going to say. I've got it there, and some of those frozen food place, not Hungry Man, but Banquet or something like that. They got them. You can buy it at the store.
Yeah.
but there's like 2 ounces in there, something like that. The tray's like a half an inch deep and shit like that, and there's not enough there to feed
Well, they're TV dinners. and
my
they-
chicken.
I'm gonna.
Some
back
of
up
you
a little-
are some of you are hungry, and it shows.
Yes, I can see that.
I'm a
like
pizza
5 pounds of
person, Gabe.
pepperoni,
I
no
can't
way.
help it.
It's
Me,
like,
I'm pizza and lasagna and spaghetti. So
there
yeah,
you go.
I'm alcohol and water. Hawaiian volcanic water.
Ooh,
Ooh,
fancy.
Yeah, I went
Ooh.
fancy.
You know,
That's-
I'm not gonna
that's
lie. I
water
would
from a
buy that just
volcano?
for the bottle.
That's exactly why I did.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
like
that's-
Fiji water.
I'd buy my Fiji water for the
Yes.
bottle. It's
I didn't
beautiful.
know it was volcanic water until I left. I just liked the bottle.
Yeah.
It's like
Does
I'll buy
it-
Voss just because of the tall glass
Same.
cylinder bottle. I love
Wait,
that
but
bottle.
Voss bottles make amazing sensory bottles. I'm just saying.
There you
Oh.
go. What did you use for them?
Does it taste like sulfur and
I-
magma?
I was almost half of me is like, is
Man,
this good
it's like-
timing?
how do you know what
What?
magma tastes like, Gabe?
I can show you.
I'll never tell.
Gabe's been chewing on magma.
Magma.
Yeah.
You're gross. All right, let's.
He said it first. It's
I
lava.
was
Same
talking
thing.
about
God.
him. I was talking
All
about him,
right.
not you.
Damn
I
Puerto
haven't
Ricans.
called
I
you
tell you.
gross yet. I probably have
Not
at some
yet.
point. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Ghost Loose comment because I'm gonna discuss, some of my stuff, and I can definitely relate to this. This is your first Christmas without your mother. I can't really relate to the first one being now. In 2 days, my mother would have been passed for 14 years at that point. And you've also been a widower for almost 10 years, and loneliness is slowly crippling one's heart. And I wanted to get back to that a little bit because the first one is the hardest. I mean, absolutely. If you've been a widower for 10 years, you've already gone through a similar experience. But I've got to say, the mother is equally hard because it's somebody that's been with you your whole life. And anybody who ever tells you, and we talked about this on one of our other shows briefly, that says it gets easier, you can learn to deal with it and stuff. No, it doesn't. What happens is you can try to introduce enough positive things in your life that kind of dwarfs the situation. But I mean, take it from me. Obviously, as being a widower for almost 10 years, that you will be able to go on and life will continue. But it's one of the hardest things, especially around the holidays, because the holidays is the one time when we all talk about not talking to people very often or not having them in our lives or seeing them the one time a year. That's the one time you rely on it. So it's when you notice it most. And you also notice everything you've lost in your past. I tried. I don't have anybody for Thanksgiving. That's typical. Yes, I have people that will invite me over sometimes and friends and stuff like that. And I don't know if you're similar, but I don't want to be a fucking burden. And
Yeah, you can't think of it like that.
I get this. That's what I was going to next. Is I don't want to be a burden, but yet I'll tell everybody else you're not a burden.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't practice what I preach
Same.
in that sense.
Yeah, trust me. If they didn't want you there, they wouldn't ask.
Right.
Yeah, but then it gets like weird because you have too many people and they're going to get mad at you because you went over somebody's house and not theirs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay alone. And I'm good with that. But I actually developed something in my way of getting through these situations with the holidays, be Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that with me. And I've also discussed this before, is I recreate it for people in my situation. Because the worst thing people can ever do, and it's the title of this show and the meaning for the entire existence of the organization, is be alone. You're not alone. You don't have to be alone. Unless you're Nikki, who says I'm going off on my own and disappears. And you also said you have the siblings, 4 siblings, similar to a husband. And you see your brother once a year. Now, I want to ask the panel about that. Gabe, you have 1 sibling. I have 1 sibling. Teresa, I know you have. Lisa, do you have any siblings on your mom's side?
I mean, I have Lisa and then Sarah and Paul.
Okay, but I mean, direct siblings, not by marriage. They're still the same. I'm just saying, but we understand that. I don't know how to say that right. I'm trying not to say it wrong.
No, they're half siblings, but I still
That's what I mean,
have
like-
2 sisters and a brother.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure. I knew about Sarah and Paul, but I didn't know if your mom, if she had another kid on that side.
No,
I
she
wasn't sure
doesn't.
about that.
No, just
Okay.
Lisa.
So that's the one, you got those 2 on there. Do you think it's when you deal with a family like Bill or Nikki, you have several siblings as well, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Do you ever feel dwarfed during the holidays, like you matter less or more? I've always wondered about this. Like, Do you feel the same kind of love? And Gabe brought it up earlier with like the way you're brought up and what the holidays mean to you. That when you're raised, do you feel the same love? Like, is the fact that we had one sibling make it so important to us that they're there and really focus on what our parents do, or do you feel kind of dwarfed in the group?
Yeah, I do. Because I come from, again, I'm one of 6. So like, my youngest sister and my only brother are my half siblings. So my mom and my stepdad's kids. So they're always automatically like they seem to be more, I don't know, special. And really it's probably just my own insecurities, but it's always feels like they're more important when they're at those family gatherings. And then between my full siblings or my other sisters, I'm like the second oldest of the 4 of us. We're all of us. I'm the second oldest. So I've always had that kind of like middle child syndrome, if you will, where I always felt like kind of like I was always in the back of the group. Like I was never to the front. I was never like, the attention was never on me. It was never, I was always the least important in the group. And still to this day, as an adult at family gatherings, those are the highest anxiety moments for me, is
Do
going
you
to
think-
family gatherings is just like being surrounded by like the judgment and being surrounded by like the self-doubt, kind of like just feeling less than. It's just I'd rather stay home.
If a sibling doesn't make it to a holiday gathering of some sort, do you think that is easier handled because there are so many more that are there, or does it kind of down the whole thing? And I'm asking because like the other 3 on this side with Teresa and Lisa, and she's got, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say names, that girl and Lisa, and
I know,
Gabe
like in
and
my
his
family,
brother.
if
And mine,
a
one
sibling,
Yeah, go ahead.
sorry, I was gonna say in my family, when a sibling doesn't show, that is like free game for tea time.
Talking shit.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
And I think that is actually a difference. I don't know if it's the same for you, but when one of ours doesn't, it changes the entire atmosphere because that's the equivalent of all our siblings not showing up
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
a lot of times. And what about you, Bill? You have a lot of siblings there too. What do you think do you think it makes it easier sometimes or harder? And being honest and not being Bill for a minute,
Mhm.
like,
Well,
has
I
it
had
made it
a
more difficult for you?
I had a brother and I had 2 sisters, and the 2 sisters that are still alive right now, I don't talk to them anymore. And as I said earlier, the one sibling, she moved to an hour and a half away and never came and saw my mother in all the years that she had moved away, maybe like 3 or 4 times and stuff like that. So if they weren't there, it didn't matter to me. My thought is I took care of my mom, and that's all I cared about.
Did
Because
you ever
my
feel like
mother-
Nikki?
Well, my mother took care of me when I was growing up, so I took care of my mom. And when they weren't there, I didn't bad talk to them about them because my mom didn't want to hear it. Now, after my mom passed away, yes.
I love the way you just looked and said, yes, that happened.
Right. Which
I mean,
in my sibling situation, it'd be the same. They would not dare talk smack about the other sibling or about the missing sibling to my mom or around my mom. It's like it's the catty little heifers in the background, like they're all doing it with each other, secretly.
Well, it
Yeah,
was
I
just
love them.
at the point in time, it was just me and my mom, and stuff. So I didn't say anything. But after my mom passed and stuff, I talked to my friends, and said stuff. And then I actually had my youngest sister, who was in Jackson, threatened to kill me. My older sister actually sent someone over to the house to kill me, and stuff. This all had to do with after my mom passed away on the very first Thanksgiving after my mom passed away. And after I got out of jail, I called her on the phone. I said, "Do you ever do that again?" So, but yeah.
Well, dealing with the loss of a loved one like your mother is going to put everybody on edge and doing crazy shit.
We never
Obviously.
realize, what the power and the glue that a singular person was
Yes.
For sure.
until after the fact.
Right.
You know.
Well, yeah. See, they didn't like me because I was always quiet when I was young. But when I hit about 20 years old, I got a voice. And when my sisters were there and my little brother was there and they said something to my mom, I told them, I said, "You shut up or you lose your teeth." And my sister was like, "What?" And I'm telling Dad. I said, "You tell Dad." I said, "And then you tell him exactly what you just said to your mother." So
I don't know if that would have been different with the sin, because my mom would. Now, don't get me wrong, she wouldn't insult my brother if he couldn't make it. She wouldn't be like, he's such a dick. But you would definitely notice her talking with just the one sibling being gone, my brother, that she just like, well, apparently doesn't care about this family, you know. And she'd have her
mhm.
moments because she was so hurt inside, and I didn't know if that reflected the same way in that, or it's like, well, I got 5 out of 6, we're good. Um, not in a bad way, but
Hmm.
That's interesting you say it that way though, because like I always had a really horrible relationship with my mom up until very recently. We've tried to actively work on it, but I always would say, because she hasn't called me for my birthday until this year. She hadn't called me for my birthday in 20 plus years. So I would say, well, it's because she has so many. I guess I'm just disposable. Like she's got enough to toss away. I would
yeah,
say
that
that because that's
and
how
that's
it made
what I
me
think
feel.
sometimes. That's what I meant. Like, you feel insignificant sometimes and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I've always wondered, because you kind of take advantage or for granted the situation you're in, that it can be harder for different parties, you know,
Yeah.
and how it feels. And it's sometimes nice, not nice to know it's miserable, but nice to see other perspectives and realize that it doesn't make your situation the worst. Like, having them there could make it
Right.
worse as well, or vice versa, or not having them there could.
Yeah.
Ghost Flu says the fear of not wanting to hurt a party with your pessimism is daunting. When I said can't decide, don't want to upset anybody. It's really that I don't care about upsetting people. I just don't want to hear their bullshit afterwards. Like, but you also
Yeah,
have
that's
to love
right.
the crazy cousin that would ruin the entire party. And you know what? That makes the entire party. All right, that's the memory you talk about.
Right.
Crazy cousin, crazy uncle, somebody like that. And he also
Did
says,
you
see,
know Velda's dating her cousin?
What?
I don't know. What I really know right now is Ghost Floof's going, damn, they're fucked up in America. He
Well,
says
he said he's from Africa, but is he
Oh,
in
yeah.
America?
That's a good
Is
question.
he in
Well,
Africa now?
are you in Africa or from Africa? We get people all over the world, so I'm just curious.
Yeah,
Ghost Floof. I didn't even
I
think
believe
that.
he's
Thank you
probably
for
in
reading
America.
for me.
I also
Yeah.
need to know, was this pepperoni pizza, did it have cheese or no cheese? I've been dying to ask this.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
it
curious
isn't a
about that
pizza
too.
without cheese.
Agreed.
Is it a pizza?
No.
Oh, he's in Africa.
He's current. I haven't put that up yet. Shh.
Wow, what time is it in Africa?
He's currently in Africa.
Why am I not seeing that? Oh, 'cause
She
I'm
read the
full
actual
screen.
chat. I didn't put it up yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, way to jump the gun. Gabe's all reading.
Spoiler
You're all paying
alert.
attention. You're ruining my job. I have one thing to do. I was like- and also, I did not pay much attention to the overbearing pepper pizza.
Yeah. They just give you a big stick of
I
meat.
would just get a stick. Yeah, I would just get a stick of meat.
Can you imagine
Oh,
just
yeah.
like the grease that would
It's
be
like
if it
the
was just pepperoni?
Bavarian village.
Oh God!
The
Ew.
gift,
Especially
Okay.
get those
the
cup
gift packs that you
pepperonis.
get, where you just get a
No,
huge
you have to ask.
stick.
Is it the cheap pepperoni or is it the margarita?
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't
you
know.
mean like the
Regardless,
like the
it's
good, like,
too much
diced
meat to chew
pepperoni?
on.
The little ones that roll up and hold all the grease in there.
I just call
That's
them
the
cup
shit.
pepperonis,
Old
but yeah.
fashioned.
That's what I always call them too.
Old fashioned
Pepperoni
spicy
cup.
pepperoni. Yep, the cup pepperoni.
That's the
Um,
greatest shit.
Going back to his comment of I have some horror stories, but sounds like King has had a much harsher life than I had. Just wow, my empathy, man. It's only hard according to what you've experienced. I hate to say that. I mean, it can be a lot to experience, but anything you've been through that's a horror story is equally as bad because they're the hardest things in your life.
Yeah.
I've said before, like a spoiled rich girl getting her Mercedes taken away from her. Is that still a thing, Mercedes, or is that old? For her, that is like one of the worst moments of her life because she's had everything, and it's hard to compare the two. But really, from an emotional standpoint, you don't know the difference. Everything
and
is
it's-
hard. to the worst you've experienced? Go ahead, Bill.
It's how you take it and what it does to you. Does it make you a different person, make you a harder person, make you a softer person where you want to run and hide? Me, I'm an ass. I can't help it. I mean, that's just me.
Truth,
So,
truth, yeah.
and I don't, I'm an old man. I'm 178 years old now, and I don't take any shit from anybody still.
Yeah,
You know?
but could you say, do you feel like things that you have dealt with in your life, Bill, has made you hardened, or have you always been hardened?
Honey, I bounced in a bar for a long time, and people always ask me, "Don't you feel bad about socking that guy or whatever?" I said, "Listen," I said, "it's my job." And I said, sitting at the door, saw him walking in. I said, "Hey, buddy, how much you had to drink?" You know, stuff like that. And they would say, "Oh no, I'm fine." And they walk in the bar and like in 10 minutes start a fight. And the bouncers bring him out. And then I'm sitting there looking at him. And I said, "Hey, you had too much to drink, go home." "Fuck you, you don't know I'm going to the bar." You know, shit like that. It makes me a different person because I've dealt with the bar people all my life, like just like Keith has and stuff like that. You look and see, you notice, you know what's going on, you know.
I mean,
And
I've dealt with the bar crowd too, maybe not as a bouncer, kind of, because I've been a bartender, but I wouldn't say
bartender
those
stories.
experiences made me what?
I think. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say
Just
those
kidding.
experiences made me like hardened though, like as hardened as you are. Maybe you saw some much different bar experiences.
Oh well, jumping jacks, Dazzles, Club Royal, and
that's
Hazel
over
Park.
at-
Yeah,
that was over on
But-
DeQuinder, right? Jumping Jacks.
yeah, yes. But the thing is when I worked there, all right, I was, you know, if you go to stupid shit and watch fucking Roadhouse, all right, they called them the cooler, all right.
Roadhouse.
I wasn't the cooler. I was the guy sitting out front. And I was a spotter. I was watching idiots walk in when they were drunk and stuff like that, and say, "Hey, you go in there and cause problems. All my bouncers weigh 250 to 350 pounds. You're gonna get pushed out the damn door." And oh no, I'm fine, you know. But and when the guy would walk in, I'd say, "Okay, he paid his $10. I'm letting him go in. He's the guy to watch." And I always had two guys right inside the door. And they go follow him, and two other guys come up here and watch, and then I tell them, and that's what I did. So
I want to steer this back a little bit before we get too far off topic about the being alone thing.
it's
but,
Nikki's fault.
For the reference, I know I totally blame Nikki. That's okay, Bill.
right.
Reference a little beyond me. Apologies. Which reference were you referring to? I wasn't sure, but you said you don't think you've ever had a pepperoni pizza in real life, just related to what I've seen online. I'm not a pizza fan, but most people on this panel love pizza, and they'll go.
I think
all over for
maybe
it.
what I was talking about the
the
gift
real the big
box,
pepperoni.
but not just that. But in America, for some reason,
The
some of
margarita
us.
thing. The
Oh
margarita
yeah,
thing
there you
is what
go.
he's referring to.
I got you.
Margarita pepperoni reference. That's what you were talking about, the cup pepperoni?
Yeah, the little itty bitty,
It's the ones
The
that
little
start
bitty.
flat, and when you bake them, they
teeny
do that,
tinies.
and all the
Yeah, they
grease
kinda
fills up.
rise.
and all the
inside.
grease is in there. That's your
That is
flavor.
pretty good.
And as Americans,
Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's
Yeah.
the shit.
That
It's
is
just
good.
it's
Some
a
call 'em
pepperoni
spicy.
that feels full of grease. Ghost.
Yeah, some call them spicy pepperonis. Old world pepperonis is one people.
Nick's Pizza in Hazel Park used to do it. I mean, and when they were in Hazel Park, they were great.
He's about 18,000 miles away.
Agreed.
Um,
I wonder what time it is there.
what time is it there,
It's-
by the way?
It's tomorrow afternoon at about.
And he also says, King, that
This
you're
time.
not an ass. And Ghost Floof, glad to have you on here. King is an ass, but we love him for it.
We know him.
But he's truly set in his ways. That's also true. If it's any consolation when I say that too, King loves himself because he's an ass.
I'm an old man.
Yeah.
But no one
We
can blame
lost
you.
Go Floof, I think.
No, we haven't. He's still going.
I mean, carry on because I'm reading ahead. I'm overachiever.
Oh, she's hitting the chat and watching everything.
I want to get. That's why I said let's get back to our topic here because we really went off on pizza. Like, for a minute.
It's Nikki's fault.
I came back in on pizza and somehow we got back to pizza.
It was
Yeah,
Nikki's
you guys
fault.
need to eat
Blame it on
immediately
Nikki.
after this.
was not my fault.
And
You're the shortest person on a panel. We blame it on you.
God, why am I hosting this?
All right. Okay.
There's serious topic at hand, people. Come on, we're better than this.
Wrangle it
We're
in.
totally not. All right. It says no one can
What were
blame you.
we
It says
talking
few.
about?
I don't know something about
Thanksgiving?
pizza.
Pizza.
Can we move this? No one can blame you. It says it's just few would understand you or want to empathize. To Bill, that was a legit comment. We've lost him on the pepperoni conversation, so let's move on past that because we
Moving
are here
on.
for Ghost Floof.
Moving on.
All
I
right.
thought we were going to go into turkey pepperoni, which totally sucks. It's awful, so you're saying, but
So let's go back to being alone for the holidays because that's our main topic here. I'm sorry that you're lost on the pizzas. Get a chance to try one. Most people like them. I don't know what to talk about because I've totally lost every train
Wait.
of thought I had. Every bullet point.
where
is
does he
gone.
live in Africa? That's what I want to know. What country?
I mean, Africa.
Africa's a
Africa's
continent,
a
honey.
Country.
It's a continent. There's a whole bunch of countries in
Either
Africa.
way, he is in Africa. He is really far away.
You could have heard it better if you were a little bit taller, so it's all
Shut
right.
up, Bill.
He is right next to us right now, and that's what matters.
I'm dead.
Hey, hey.
Ghost Loops, you really said Africa a country?
Before I was born, I was blonde.
Yeah, she's still blonde. Don't let her.
Check the roots. Check the roots.
I thought Africa was country.
Kind of gray.
Okay, so I don't know now. I'm totally you
Back
thrown
to
me off.
Thanksgiving, spending it alone.
And
Yes.
holidays in general. How
What are you guys doing for Christmas? That's a general holiday.
He is from she
Egypt.
says, I'm just teasing. Please don't be mad. Nobody's ever mad. That's what we do on this
No.
show. Okay, that is
He's
what we
not
do.
from Africa. I told you.
Be yourself. Okay, let's get to the next line. He's from Egypt originally, North Africa. Obviously, you and Nikki went to the same school. Egypt is a country in Africa. It's not a city in the country of Africa. But he's been in South Africa for the last
Next week
15
we'll be
years.
discussing the educational system in America.
I
You
really
know, we
did
started
gratitude.
with mathematics. We started with numbers. We're doing geography now. We're
Brought
just
to
going
the-
to be...
brought
All
to
right,
by
the new show. We're
letter
no
T.
longer Ear, Shoulder, Voice. We're Drunken Sesame Street. All right.
Oh, well, then I'm going to start
Brought to
drinking
you
then.
by the
Oh, yeah.
letter A.
Alcoholics.
Okay, now, how do we get through our Thanksgivings, people? That's what I need to know. What do you do to try to fill these gaps and fill these voids, no matter which one you're dealing with, when you are facing the facts of being without loved ones or people you care about, and sometimes being alone? You know what I do, and I'll go a little more into detail at the end. But how do you do it?
Are you talking about what you do before you take everyone to dinner or after?
We don't know who that person
Oh.
is. Nikki couldn't point him out. Now, Gabe, go ahead.
I was just saying, that's why I was pointing at everyone there with the finger like this. So
Oh, wait.
I'm just swirling it around.
You guys are
Gabe,
horrible.
go ahead.
Uh,
Yeah.
as far as I am fortunate, to be with my family at that point, so I don't. It's smaller, but because of that, I think it's only like 6 people at this point, 6 or 7 or 8. But at this point, I think that lends to sort of a more intimate time, and we're
Do you
able to
scale down
converse
what
and-
you do, Gabe? Like, do you guys make less, or are you like me and you still cook for 20 people?
Yeah, I mean, always cook more than probably need, but that's leftovers is half the fun, right?
You got to kind of match the bird too.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Like you could have 2 people. Well, if you got a 13-pound bird or something, well, hell, you got to make 13 pounds of sides.
You just
Yeah,
got to
I
figure
got
out how many wild pigeons you got to catch. I mean, you got to put out your traps, catch the wild pigeons. How many people? Boom, there you go.
Cornish hens.
Ghost Floof also says he like Elon
Squab.
Musk and Charlize Theron. He talked about her recently, and Seether I was
Seether?
raised Africans mostly. Well, we were all raised by monkeys. Go figure that one out. As you've seen, we're idiots, but we love it.
Seether is from Africa? Really?
I will believe him more than I'll believe any of you right now.
It must
I gotta
be
look
like
that up.
he must be referencing something because it's totally over my
They're
head.
from Africa.
Charlize Theron is from Africa?
Yeah. Hmm. So is Dave Matthews.
Really?
Mhm.
No, we're not monkeys. We were raised by them.
And Charlize Theron is one of the most beautiful women in the world. So
And African, South African language, yeah. So yeah, they are. I didn't know Seether exactly.
And I would just like to say thank you, Bill. I cleaned my camera. I'm no longer grainy. Wish I would have
Told
done
ya.
that like 2 hours ago.
Mhm.
told you.
Who would have thought cleaning a lens would do that?
It's
She
my
had a
son's
little fil-
laptop. I'm
Well,
afraid
no,
to
we were
touch
we,
keys.
we were all bright on there, and she had a film going on, and she's like, and I said, just clean the lens. So
Okay.
No,
so
as I
moving
said,
on.
it's my son's laptop, and I don't know what could be on this.
You
get
don't
out of
wanna
your
find
son's
out.
room. Stop that.
My
If she's on the show, we're gonna
computer
do
is-
this.
Just
It's okay.
go sit in your car and get on your phone again. God.
No.
I'm officially one of your best friends now, Ghost Floof. You're on your third bottle of wine.
Ooh.
That's
nice.
why we have this show.
That's where we do our best.
Wait, what kind of
Rhonda.
wine?
Rhonda.
Rhonda, how you
Hello.
doing? Just got your internet back up and running. So glad to hear that. Good to see you right now. And Ghost Floof, like, let's go. Let's definitely go.
So
Okay,
I
let's
wanna
move on to the
answer
next
your
one. This is going to
question.
take a long time. Nikki, that's what I was going
Yeah.
to because
I want to answer your question about I don't know if it's like just like a defense mechanism or just things I've done trying to like find my way over the years, but we kind of like started our own family traditions, like just so we used to do like every year I would do like I was a freaking master chef and I would have like a theme to my Thanksgiving meals. So like one year was cranberries, so like cranberries were in my stuffing and in my cheesecake, like they were everywhere. Another year I did like different appetizers. And then we started like, oh, we're gonna go to the Thanksgiving Day parade. Yeah, that didn't last very long because it's cold as shit
So
on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving Day parades. I think my boys are actually going this year. Yeah, we just like kind of add in our own little traditions. Like Christmas time, we started something a few years ago that we've just carried on with. It just the kids ask for it every year. Now that's kind of how we fill the void.
all the traditions we have were done exactly that way. And unfortunately, a lot of people forget to do things like that. That's actually beautiful that you do and something to keep
Yeah.
carrying on and keep doing.
Yes.
Because all the traditions we follow at one point were not traditions. It was something
Yeah.
new and different.
Yeah.
Even the classic traditions at one point were not.
Yeah.
What about you, King? Obviously, you've been through, you've lost a lot and you're still dealing with it. But I'm going to start this way. What are you doing Thanksgiving?
I'm going to Cassie's house and hanging out with the dogs.
Dog
Okay.
sitting.
Well,
And
no.
Anybody else?
Well, so we were going to be here Thanksgiving with my daughter, and she just surprised me the other day and said, I'm going to go see my brother Matt, who is her half brother, and she's leaving Wednesday and coming back Sunday morning. And, it was a surprise to me and stuff because she and I about this house that, we haven't been in this long, needed to talk about stuff because I've honestly rolled about $99,000 into this fucking house, between doing the plumbing, water heater, washer, dryer, refrigerator, and plus put the money down on the house and paid off all her debt so she could get the house and stuff like that. And she just surprised me the other day and said, well, Dad, I'm going to Matt's house. And I was like, well, it's all right. I said, I just go see the dogs. And I was over at Kathy's house last night. And I said, what are you guys doing? I said, you got something for me to babysit the dogs point in time? Because we were talking about December. They were going to go to Minnesota and see the Detroit Lions play in Minnesota or Yeah, in Minnesota, I think, or Wisconsin, whatever, and they canceled it out. And Cassie's like, "You can come to Mom's house. What do you want to do?" And I said, "Nah." I said, "I love your mom, you know that, but no." And I said, "I'll just come over and stay with the dog." She goes, "Hell yeah."
I mean, that's really nice of you, Bill, but stop that sometimes. You
Well,
know,
and I was
accept
gonna
some
say for
invite.
is this is where I go back to you like talking about you being so hard. But in that moment, Bill, when you were just talking about your sister going to see her half brother, I could hear the disappointment in your voice that she was leaving you
And it was
behind.
my daughter, honey. My daughter.
I exactly. So
My
the
daughter and I live
softness
with her.
does
So.
exist. I know the softness is there.
Oh yeah,
Well, no.
Bill's soft. That's why it's hard to hide it. It's a defense
Uh,
mechanism, honestly.
well, I'm so okay. So you're soft in certain situations, all right? I'm soft with my daughter. I
Always, of
lost
course.
my marbles the other day when I had to put my cat to sleep.
Yeah.
I told my daughter and her boyfriend straight out. I said I bought a 15 pack of beer and I bought a fifth of Fireball, and I said I'm going to be unapproachable for 2 or 3 days. I said, and I'm just telling you, you know. And all my friends was like, "Oh, it's just a cat." And I said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "You pick and choose how you want to say it and stuff like that, but don't come close to me and say it to my face because I will drop you to the ground, get by the ears, and bite your fucking nose off." So
Um,
I love my animals, and again, that's why I'm going to go see Charlie and Annie, and that's what I do.
if it is something that comforts you and gets you through it, I'm not gonna condemn because that's something that's
Begrudge it,
easy for
right?
you and
Yeah.
something you want. Then definitely do it, but don't ever decline certain invitations and choose to stay home. You got this year, but I know not all
Are you
years are
talking
like
about the one of these people down the panel that are having something in Frankenmuth or Fraser or whatever?
moving on. So, Ghost Lou says that's why he says you're done ass, and I think it's really cool that you have a fan. So
You have
I
a
got
super
lots of fans. I got
At least-
lots of
at least
fans on
for
here
one
over
week.
the years. I got lots of fans on here over the years. Damn it!
by the way, Ghost Floof, we absolutely love Bill. We absolutely do. He's on most of our shows, and he says people just keep treating us hard men like poop. So Ghost Floof's a hard man too. So you got somebody in your corner right now. But usually people.
I don't
who
want to
are
hear
like
about
that-
a guy on here, so just saying.
And Rhonda says she's a Bill fan. Okay, so she says it. You know, Rhonda's a Bill fan. We love it. A lot of times, the people that use being a hard person or even a very overly happy person, they use it as a defense because they're soft side, and it's what makes their life so much harder. Because at the same time, they don't want to break character for what they've become. And unfortunately, it's often what people expect of us, or I'm sorry, of Bill. So my bad, Bill. Bill brought up something. So it's for Teresa and Nikki. Bill had you just said that your daughter surprised you by going over to Matt's house. Have you, either one of you, because I know your children are old enough to do it, have you had to deal with this yet? Where one of your children is going over to somebody else's house and that kind of breaks it. They're not coming to you, but they're also trying to develop their own family and get with it both.
Well,
And if you guys are going to Matt's house, I want to know what's going on. So I'm just saying.
I've had it happen where my son Zachary has like gone to his girlfriend's family's house for the holidays, but he always comes back home. The one I am anticipating coming sooner rather than later, and it's that just like me preparing myself mentally, is my son who is away at college, which he's home this year, but being that Michigan Tech is 600 miles away from home, and they get whatever, statistically I think 300 feet of snow every year or something, plus he'll be like doing internships and stuff like that in the years ahead. There's gonna come a point where he's not gonna make the trip home. I'm just thinking realistically, like right now I feel blessed that my kids still want to come home for the holidays, but I know that there will come a point where they won't. Like, I don't go to my mom's, and I know that will happen. I'm just
What
holding
about
on
you,
for
Teresa?
dear life.
Just Nikki, just so you know, I know a guy. All you have to do is get hold of me. I
What
know a
about you,
guy.
Teresa?
Um, my kids are pretty sappy about traditions and being home and spending time, but my oldest daughter's married, so she gets some of her time with her in-laws, of course. So a little bit, but they try to make time. I feel pretty blessed that I have 3 adult children who want to spend time with their mom, because I don't think that that's necessarily always the case.
It's not.
Right.
But yeah,
Good
so
for
I
you, honey.
with that.
I'm very happy for you.
They do like I said, I do split with, in-laws, or actually she's a twin, but my middle child just moved home from Toledo. So when she was down there, not that it was far, but it was far enough to keep her out of the holidays for a few years. So
Mm.
Do you ever find yourselves kind of being split, doing what used to annoy you about your parents or the parents of your significant other and stuff, and you now do yourself? Like when it comes to your parents, well, I got to go here, then I got to go to this person's house, and then spend time with this person, to where you're overwhelmed. And most of us always bitched about having to go all these places around the holidays, and then find that you're expecting that of your own children.
No, but you know what I am really bad for is, so my family calls it guilt tripping. I call it just like logical reasoning, like just mom explaining things. But I find myself like, if there's a special occasion, and usually it's like Zachary, who is so busy in his life that he can't be bothered for, the special family gatherings. So are you laughing at me, or are you laughing
The
at,
cat
are
in
you
the
and Gabe
background.
having a thing?
No,
it was his
my
cat in the background.
My cat loves
Oh.
crawling on my display.
missed-
but
I
Not
missed
you.
the
You're
moment.
okay. Yeah, we just both caught the cat.
It's the
But,
second time he's done it.
Yeah, I find myself like, I guess, kind of guilt tripping them into like, oh, you weren't here, so, you missed the moment kind of thing. Like,
I've
it's
always-
just my thing. I try not to. I really do.
You can't help it though.
I
And there's a
can't.
little part inside of you is like, that'll get him. There
Yes,
is a little
yes.
part inside of you.
Yes, because I know how my kids are, especially Zachary. He internalizes things, especially like my mom lecture kind of moments. He will internalize it until like he's ready to like process it and come back to me. And he will come back to me, and he will probably say sorry, and he will probably have a moment with me, and that's when I kind of relish in knowing that my kids still listen to me.
Have things.
Why can't it be mustard? It's got to be relish. It can't be mustard, ketchup. I mean, come on.
I prefer mustard.
She took the bait, Keith. Lift
I
your head
know.
up. She took
That's why I'm not
She took
saying
the
anything to
bait.
you. Okay.
As-
she took
as
the
a-
bait,
That was a dad joke if I ever heard one.
Totally a bad joke.
but she
That's
took
kinda
the
where the
bait.
humor was.
So
Teresa,
it's a fast rise.
has that been an issue? Do your kids make a conscious decision to try to split them up, or are you just like you originally kind of said of, that's where they are, and I'm glad they found something like that?
they make a conscious effort to split things up usually.
Do they have a lot to split up between? I mean, is it just you, or is it just like two houses?
When it comes to Thanksgiving, it's usually 2 or 3. For Christmas, it's usually me on Christmas Eve, and then like their dad on Christmas Day, which is why I spent
And I'm
Christmas
good with
Day.
that. I think that's good for a lot of people. I know a lot of families do that. Well, you can have Christmas
Mhm.
Eve, you can have Christmas Day, or they even rotate holidays. Like you'll have
Mhm.
Christmas, I'll have Thanksgiving, you'll have Easter, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
For the homes,
Christmas
those dad
Eve
jokes.
was always, growing up, it was always Christmas Eve at my grandma's on my mom's side, and then Christmas
Bill,
Day
stop
was
it.
with my dad, and then
Oh.
it kind of it kind of went.
I was
to,
trying
like,
to read the
family
chat. It wasn't working.
It says he loves them dad jokes.
I thought those things magnify like 100 times.
I told you they're clear.
That looks so weird, just with those glasses back.
Zoom, zoom.
Like the Rocketeer.
It's Waldo. They're Waldo glasses, actually, was what they were. So
So I am in the boat where Thanksgiving is, or the holidays in general, they're lone times.
What
And,
kind of boat?
Um,
A tugboat.
it's really important. I don't respond to them. I just kind of look. That's all.
Rowboat?
I'm not
Kayak?
grabbing the bait. I'm not grabbing the bait.
Rowboat? Kayak?
Not doing it.
Someone else said tugboat.
I'm gonna
I don't know why she would say tugboat. She they can comment about your size or something like that. I don't know. So I mean, she's only
This is the
She's
most
only-
off-topic
she's only
series show
4
we've
foot-
ever
This is
had.
off the rails.
she's
It
only
is
4'10", and then she's saying something. So
rails.
See you in a moment.
Rotten. You're just rotten, Bill. Poor.
you made the
Every-
comment about tugboat, all right? Not me.
I
I said
He
rowboat,
said-
kayak.
You want to
Boat.
come to my house? for
ladies and
Thanksgiving?
gentlemen, I present
canoe.
the Nikki and King show. So here we are. Good luck.
Hey, I'm gonna leave myself. Myself. I was just inviting you to my house for Thanksgiving, but
I know,
now
I heard.
I decline the invitation for you.
What did tugboat have to do with inviting him to Thanksgiving?
So
You said what kind of
to
boat? I
circle
said a
back, Keith, what were you trying to say?
I don't fucking remember.
It was something about being
Holidays
in
have
the
begun.
boat. where
It
you
is
were-
November. Well, no,
wasn't
he
a-
just said
It wasn't
he
a
just said I don't
specific
fucking November,
boat.
and it still is November.
It
It's
wasn't
not
a
December
specific
yet. So.
boat. It was just
He was saying how he was
a
in the
metaphor.
same. You know what?
Situation.
Why can't it be a meta? Why is it got to be a
We're in different
metaphor?
situation.
Why can't it be a meta 5? So just saying.
Holidays are
Well,
lonely.
Bill, you
for
want to be on the
Keith.
show? Sure, go ahead. We got room. Yeah, I'll throw you in. Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah, that was your fault. That was your fault,
What was
wasn't
I
it?
thinking?
Insert moment of regret.
Right.
Oh
We
God,
love you, Bill.
they absolutely
Hey.
do.
I can't talk
Right
to you
n-
anymore. We're like
For
the kids
right
in the
now,
pet show.
yeah.
You get me in trouble.
So I appreciate the invite, Nikki, and the retract of the invite simultaneously.
Wait,
But
I thought that was for
Open it
me.
back up.
You were never invited.
I'll open
I
it
thought
back
it was for me.
up and see that you.
Oh, holy shit!
I'm afraid to say anything.
No wonder I spend my Thanksgiving with dogs. People put out the invite, and I thought it was for me, and it wasn't for me, and then retract it and put it out, and then the end. Oh my God.
I'm seeing a lot of reasons at this point. I love you, Bill. So anyway,
I'm good at what I
thing
do.
is
I
that-
can't help it.
it's so hard to pull back to the realism and then have to do it again. Okay. Teresa, you got something to say? I got nothing.
Oh, before I forget,
Well, I did,
Uh,
but
Lillian Carter died today.
Yes.
I saw that.
So did Bobby.
Look.
That's not enough.
Did you hear me, Keith?
No, that's not.
What the hell? It's my son's room. The hell?
Why you rummaging through his shit?
It's
Why you gotta
right
be that
here.
mom?
It is right on the desktop.
I told you, get out of there and go get on your phone in the car. Get out of your son's room.
All right.
You're gonna find stuff you never want to find.
No, you know what? Total side note. Listen to this. I get a piece of mail one day. Listen.
This whole
I get
show's a fucking side note, just so you know.
Hang on, wait. She's saying this. Everyone record this so we can send it to her son when she says it. All right,
No,
hang on.
he
Go
already
ahead.
knows about it. I get a piece of mail one day. It's like from some Chinese company offering my
How you been,
son
Gabe?
like an Amazon credit
Teresa.
after he made a
Hanging in
purchase
there.
of
Good.
an item that boys would purchase.
Okay, a pocket pussy has nothing to do with anything like that. Don't worry about it. But tell him he can order it from Temu cheaper than Amazon. Just saying.
Probably fall apart.
All right.
Timu.
For enlarged Twinkies, I guess.
Enlarged Twinkies.
Oh boy, this is definitely so.
One of our more interesting shows.
I am definitely
I
going to
think we're
change
all
the
high.
title to this show. Okay. When it's done, I'm going to re-edit the titles just to be whatever the fuck happened.
And
Just
before I
four question
We
marks.
call it what could possibly.
before I forget, I've got 4 self-propelled snow blowers for sale in case anyone needs one. Send it out, talk to your friends, stuff
Why
like that.
not?
I'm at 9 and Ryan in Warren, Michigan. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we're gonna start a new segment called Before Bill Forgets.
You should
We
do
could
that
before Bill forgets.
before Bill forgets.
The most common item purchased from odd websites usually tends to be pills that promises enlarged ... things.
yeah.
Can you elaborate what things you're referring to? We're all very Christian here.
I mean, we're already there. It's almost in the sex show here. So go ahead.
Rhonda says the most interesting holiday show ever. Absolutely. I don't know if we can call it a holiday show because there's some fucked up shit going on.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it's around
This
the
is our-
holidays, so
Oh, for
It is a
fingers, for
show.
larger pills for larger fingers. That's what's needed. Okay.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
You could call this the dysfunctional holiday show.
yeah.
You can't call this a holiday show because
This is much like a recreation of
Well-
a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
This is the Thanksgiving dinner show. That's what we
Right.
got to do.
Right.
And as far as the pills, there's a lot of guys that want pills that shrink your hands, so it makes their penises look bigger. So just saying. So I saw that on the internet the other
Oh
day.
my God! Penis
What
and
the
pizzas
hell?
and giant
What the
rabbits
hell?
and happy Thanksgiving, people.
Good thing that you put that PG up at the beginning.
PG my ass. That's got to change too.
You might need to recategorize this.
Yeah.
Ghostface, thank you for this. On a serious note, thank you. Just that first line alone, thank you. He just wanted to say thanks for the early advice on what I could expect during Christmas going forward. I truly do appreciate it. And that's what I was going to get on, I think, like 2 or 3 hours ago, before Bill said something about a boat. And I was like,
Several other things.
You said a boat, not me. You did. So yeah. Go ahead.
That comment
Hold on.
is exactly why you do the show, right?
mhm.
See,
need more.
Keith, I believe that Keith says stuff to bait me so that I'll say something. So you know.
Yeah, in the same boat. That was totally to make Bill go fucking wild. I'm like,
Well, I
who
didn't
says
go
in the
wild.
same boat or a different boat anymore? I mean,
I
obviously,
just
for
asked what
Bill.
kind of boat, and then Nikki went right into a tugboat, and I said, "Oh, so you're saying something about his ties?" And then Nikki went crazy, so it was all Nikki's fault. Thank you.
All right, well, thanks for fucking
That
things
red
up,
hair.
Nikki.
Is that red hair?
All right, so when I started this topic, I was going to say we only have about half hour, 45 minutes left, and we got like 1 minute.
No minutes left.
So I'm like,
Minutes.
right.
No minutes left.
Love this channel. We're glad you love this channel. We do have fun. We usually can get serious with stuff. We always try to have a good time. This is one where we usually have a good time and fuck seriousness, apparently.
We're like lions. We get serious the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, when I get the final word, that doesn't even work anymore because Bill going to say something.
I am not,
New segment.
Unless-
Bill going to say something.
unless you say something. Well, when I
Go to the
look at
final
you
word.
right, I can't even see you, Keith. All I can see is a lifetime across your forehead. So yeah.
You literally just interrupted Bill going to say something by saying something.
I didn't say
And that
something.
something was I am not.
Because Bill gonna say.
That's right.
He said, before I forget.
Anyway,
Okay.
let's wrap it up.
Are we going to talk about? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, we're going to talk about what, Bill? This is your last shot. I'm sorry to everybody who couldn't really talk.
Any, anyone got a drink in their hand? Because I was going to talk and just mention my gay friend Kathy. So yeah.
So, yeah, that just happened. We're all here for it.
Sure did.
Can you please delete this episode? I look like an idiot.
We should delete this episode completely.
It's on
I
the
already got
internet
it
forever.
recorded on my other phone, and I'm putting it on Facebook everywhere. So
Now, this
yeah.
is the part, I mean, this is for Ghost Floof. This is the part where we usually get serious and talk, but obviously the king has already started talking because Bill going to say
I'm
something.
leaving it alone. Go ahead.
Also,
Right
Ghost
now,
Flu
hang
says,
on.
by the
Okay, go ahead.
ladies and gentlemen, here's Bill with your final word.
All right. So we had a good night. We had fun. We talked about some serious topics. We talked about some non-serious topics. But everything was great. And I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. And I hope everyone is happy. And I hope you are with family if you can. And if you're not with family, I still hope you're happy.
There you go.
Now you get serious.
The final.
Hey.
Last 2 minutes.
Don't
And
make me
nobody
get across over
interrupted
there.
you. Nobody.
I know where you
interrupted
live.
you. Yeah. Well, anyway. All right. So, really quick to get to the comment for Nikki. He says Ghost Floof is also a middle child, and he understands more than he wants to with that. So he can definitely relate to that, and we appreciate that. Now, I'm going to use the final word to continue my brief conversation with things, and that is how you can fill the gap.
Talking.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want me to say anything while you're talking? Okay.
Oh, that works. Okay. So anyway, I
Continue.
happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Try to reach out.
Guadalajara. Hasta luego.
Thank you for joining us here at Your Shoulder Voice. You all have a great night. This has been a great show.
When you're alone and feeling down, and you're 10 feet underground, when you're so deep you're about to drown, when you're in the lost and found, 'cause heartaches only last a day. Ooh, but your heart will never fade away. Go out and find your way. Don't let them take your soul away. Not a week, not a single day. Hold true to what you wanna be. Never let go, and here's the key. Be you, yeah, only you, only you. Be you, yeah, only you, only you.
I hate you, Bill.
Keith, you know what you should do in that exit part where it says don't forget, and it's the part where it says like, subscribe, whatever. You should put before I forget, you should change it.
Bill muted himself. Oh, he's back.
No, I didn't. It just went out. My phone, my Wi-Fi is like. I have a question, a serious question, because I saw something earlier when you guys were
Now you have
posting
a
stuff.
serious question. Yeah. go ahead.
After the
Shut
show.
up, Larry. Shut up.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. This is just the after show. Whatever. Fuck. What's the
Nikki,
serious question?
Nikki, I saw something posted. Did you lose a grandchild?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Well, this is still on.
I was
the show,
driving and
so-
trying to. I was driving and trying to see it and stuff like that, but I
Let's-
couldn't catch it with my phone. But there was post up and stuff.
You know, that would have been a
I'm
good thing
very
to bring
sorry.
up during the show.
Well, I was going to, but
Or
you kept
not.
changing the subject and butting in on what I was
Or not.
talking. So
Yeah, it's actually, to be honest with you, it has me very mixed about Christmas because Christmas last year, like I'm totally dreading the day that Facebook throws me that like memory post where I
So-
posted about being so excited about being a grandma because I know it's coming. Like it's and last Christmas we all were talking about it. Like she's gonna have her own tree and it's gonna be like kids' toys under the tree this year. So even though I've
Was-
decorated for Christmas, I am not excited about it.
newborn baby or close to
Yeah.
newborn, I thought.
Yeah, no,
I'm so
they-
sorry.
they went in to be induced, and within 3 hours she had passed in an emergency C-section. So yeah. So very long story short, Jeffrey Feiger's on the case. So
That's right.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely sad to hear about that. I mean, I already
Can I
did
tell
hear
you
about
something?
that, but
Can I tell you something? All right. And this is what I know from medical law. All right. And you got Jeffrey Feiger already? Go talk to another lawyer.
We did. We talked to 3 other attorneys.
So, Pansy, Millen, and McKalen are better because they actually have in all their, I don't know how many people they got there, like 300 or whatever. There's 125 of them in there that are doctors and lawyers.
Yeah.
Jeffrey
It's
Feiger hangs off.
not up
Jeffrey
to me,
Feiger
though.
Jeffrey Feiger hands everything off to everybody and stuff. My dad died in his hospital bed, and my mom got $30,000 out of it. And I went to another lawyer, which at that point in time it was Mendel, Panzer, Mulcahy, and Malin, and we talked to a guy in there who was burned on his face and stuff like that. And he was a doctor. He had a license to practice medicine, and he was a lawyer. And he got my mom an extra $285,000 when Jeffrey Feiger's thing just wanted to give up. They just sued the nurses. So, but I'm very sorry about your granddaughter, honey.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah.
So the question:
Yeah.
if we start our shows with different random topics and then move into it, is that why this show turned into garble?
It was Nikki's fault.
It was a
Nikki
hot
said
spot.
something, and I
We
had
had
to
some
make a
good
comment
moments.
on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we
comment on
did, but
everything.
Nikki said something. I had to say something, but
We had some good moments, but there's really a lot of things people can do to try to get through, and we kind of skipped some of that, and I really want to hit that.
and I'm sorry, but in my situation, I still have stress from getting rid of my lizards, and then my cat died, and I drink, so.
I get that. We all drink, and I think we were all, definitely, this was a rough show. And maybe it's good that there was more levity to it because it definitely hits a lot of us pretty hard. So,
Well,
But
plus,
any point in time,
to a point.
Keith already told you, any point in time you want to hit the red button like Nancy Reagan, you can take me off. So,
I do, but I can't leave you off because, damn it, you have fans.
well, you can take me off of there, and I mean, it'll be okay. I mean, I'll be at your front door beating on the door going, what the hell, you took me out of here? It's only 30-minute drive, so.
But I do appreciate you all being on it, of course.
All right.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
So I just
Yeah, my
want
doggy's in here going.
Where are you going?
Okay.